As we get towards the end of July, we're only a few short weeks away from National Roller Coaster Day, which is August 16th. Now, the significance of this is because most parks around the world use this time to announce new roller coasters for the upcoming season. So that means that we are right around the corner from all sorts of things being announced for the 2025 season. But things have come early this year already, and there are already some announcement dates we're going to get into and some teasers already coming out. So we're going to get into what we know for sure about 2025. To start off, we'll go to Erie, Pennsylvania, to Waldameer, where about a week or so ago, they announced that their Spider flat ride was going to be going away. And then about a day or two later, they announced that a Zamperla Nebula ride is going to take its place.
Yeah, now a lot of parks seem to be getting these Zamperla Nebulas. They're just popular, and we haven't ridden one, but they look cool to like watch. So that should be a good addition to the park.
Even though we just for the first time rode that Spider at Waldameer, and that was like one of our favorite rides at the park.
Yeah.
So this has some large shoes to fill, but that is something that isn't really being teased or anything. It was something that Waldameer just said, Spider's going away, and then like 2 days later, Zamperla
Nebula, yeah.
So that wasn't all that fun. But now we're going to get into a few parks that have done a few teases already and stuff like that. So to start off, we're going to go to Six Flags Great America, where we just visited for the first time. And actually, the day we were there, they put out on Twitter, #FearTheWrath, and a little teaser. And when we were there, there was a fence that said Fear the Wrath, and it had like a QR code and stuff like that. We have a whole vlog where that's part of the vlog that we talk about that. I kind of had an idea that maybe it was for Fright Fest coming up, maybe not necessarily a new coat or a new ride or anything for the 2025 year.
It definitely gave off that vibe. I mean, obviously it was kind of a creepy vibe or whatever, creepy theme. So yeah, it definitely could be for Fright Fest.
But it's also on a plot of land that their old Larson Looper was in. So it was like the fence that the signage was on was where an old ride was, so it's not out of the question that they could be getting another ride. Although they just got Sky Striker this past year, a flat ride. So getting 2 flat rides in a year. So that also kind of leads me to believe that it might just be for Fright Fest. But since we don't know for sure, and since it's a teaser around this time of year, we're just going to throw this into the video and let you guys figure out what you think that this means. Next up, we're going down to Virginia to King's Dominion, where probably the worst kept secret for a roller coaster ever is coming out.
Yeah.
Like pretty much we already know for sure that it's a launched wing coaster. And the only things that we don't know is the name of it and like the complete theming, because it is in the Jungle Expedition area. So it's got to be themed to something like that. But all the teasers are about like look to the sky and stuff like that. So it's obviously going to be some sort of bird, like a hawk or something like that. Maybe a mythical creature. Cedar Fair Parks or Legacy Cedar Fair Parks love going with like the mythical bird.
So definitely could be something like that. But the ride is like almost fully built now. Like a lot of it is a lot of it is already built.
It's vertical. It's already going
vertical. So they have like the brake run and the launch track, I think. So they have a decent little bit done.
But yeah, King's Dominion isn't doing much to hide it. They just brought track in, and they're teasing it and building it all at the same time, which, I mean, not too different from what Top Thrill 2 Top Thrill 2 was doing. But at least they waited to build the spike until the announcement day or whatever. So, but King's Dominion, that is going to be July 31st. So that is right around the corner, like a week or less than a week away or whatever. So be sure to subscribe to this channel, because we're going to for sure do plenty of videos all about any sort of announcements and rides that are becoming to all different parks for 2025. So if you're not already a subscriber, please go down and do that. If you enjoy any sort of roller coaster content, vlogs, stuff like this, we're definitely a channel that you want to check out. And while you're at it, while you're down there subscribing, give this video a thumbs up. Comment what you think about all these 2025 editions that we're going to be talking about in this video. I'd also like to take a quick moment to remind you that we do have a channel membership page. All these people are channel members They get things like exclusive pictures, videos, shout outs like you saw, and they help out our channel a ton. So thank you to all our members. You guys mean the world to us. Next up, we're going south of the border to Six Flags Mexico, where they haven't really teased anything. They pretty much came out and said that we're building a new roller coaster.
Yeah, they put out something talking about we're building a new roller coaster, and they talked about a lot about like environmental laws, and they're not going to tear down any trees for it. But yeah, and people found Vekoma, what appears to be Vekoma tilt coaster track at the park. So it's looking like a Vekoma tilt coaster is going to be coming there.
And coincidentally, Energylandia was supposed to have a tilt coaster going in, and then they scrapped that idea. So most likely, they sold the tilt coaster to Six Flags Mexico.
Yeah,
and so that looks like it's going to be what's built there. But yeah, like we said, no real teasers or anything about it.
They just pretty much just flat out said new coaster for next year, but don't 100% know what it is yet.
But it's safe to say that's going to be the tilt coaster. So now finally getting into the meat and bones of this video. It is going to be Canada's Wonderland. Now keep in mind there's some other rides that are going to be new for 2025. There's some new parks going in, like obviously Epic Universe and all that.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get into everything. We're getting into things that are being teased at this moment that we don't really know about. So there's plenty of information about like Adventureland down in Arizona.
There's some new parks. Yeah.
So I mean,
like Adventure Park.
Yeah. So some things are known about. So this video isn't about that. This video is about the things that are being teased right now coming into the 2025 season. So like I said, the biggest of all is Canada's Wonderland, and that is because they are like just complete secrecy.
Yeah.
Like the difference between them and King's Dominion is night and day.
Yeah.
And they are knocking out tons of teasers on Twitter. It seems like every couple days at 8 in the morning or even once at 8:08 in the morning, they're putting out new teasers. And basically all you're seeing is things with fire and ice, and you're seeing waterfalls and like a lot around that mountain that they have right there in the middle, Wonder Mountain. So it's obviously going to intertwine with that, which makes sense because a few years ago they put out a survey to a lot of their pass holders asking what you think they should get, and like everything pretty much revolved around Wonder Mountain.
Yeah.
So what we pretty much know for sure about this coaster is it's going to be a premier ride, multi-launch coaster. Now we know this because there was a picture of like a box, and it had Premiere on it, so it was shipped to Canada's Wonderland. So that would make sense because Canada's Wonderland is missing a thrill launch coaster. They don't have anything like that.
The only launch coasters they have are Backlot Stun Coaster and Snoopy's Racing Railway. So obviously no thrill launch coaster.
But the big question is like, what will the layout be? What do all these teasers mean?
Yeah, they're doing a lot with the number 8.
Yeah.
So it could be, I don't know, like thinking 80 kilometers an hour, 88 kilometers an hour. It could be a possibility. So I don't know.
And 8, not only at 8 in the morning do they announce everything, but the announcement date for the new roller coaster is going to be August 8th, which is the 8th month on the 8th day.
8 is great. You can hold it this way. You can hold it that way. It's still 8.
And you can speculate all day about that. Is it going to have 8 inversions or whatever?
8 inversions. I thought like 80 meters tall, but that's way too tall. Premier multi-launch coaster isn't going to be that tall. So yeah, I think 80 kilometers an hour or 88 kilometers an hour could be a possibility.
Yeah, because that's in like the 50-some mile per hour range.
Yeah, it's like 54 miles per hour. So something like that could definitely be possible.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense for a premier launch coaster. Now, the question is, I could really see them either going with like an icebreaker swing launch type model, or what Full Throttle at Magic Mountain is, where it's just a different kind of launch model. But I could see either one going in this place. I think I'm leaning more towards, there's one thing that's making me lean more towards the swing launch with like a spike, and that's because they are really teasing this fire and ice. They're really going hard on 2 different things. Like they have Beware, and they have it in red and blue, So they're really pushing this duality. And at first I was thinking, okay, maybe like a West Coast Racers
yeah,
type of dual coaster. But I guess the footers and stuff, everything that they're starting already doesn't look like it's going to be any sort of dueling coaster. Now that could change obviously, and it could be some sort of West Coast Racers type of ride where it is dueling, but it's looking more and more like it's going to just be a single track coaster and only one coaster. So I could see something like with Icebreaker, if it's you have Pantheon, which is made by Intamin, a different manufacturer, but it's a swing launch coaster, and you have almost two different layouts. You have the beginning part of the course, and then you go into like the spike and the top hat, and then you go into the second half of the course. So I could see maybe something like that being done, and like the first half is fire and the second half is ice. They could go something that route with the theming, or like talked about like Full Throttle. They have a part where you do stop and then you launch backwards.
Yeah.
So
then they also don't have a ton of room back there. Like there's not a ton of room at Canada's Wonderland, like at the park, especially in that area. So they can't get anything too big. I don't know. I mean, some parts might go inside. I mean, it's obviously going to interact with Wondermount, like we said, a bit. So some parts inside, I guess.
Yeah, so all this stuff is something to think about whenever we're trying to make a prediction. But this isn't a complete prediction video. We're going into a little bit of it here, but it's mainly just what is out there right now, what kind of teasers are out there. So that is it. That wraps up the little bit that we know as far as teasers and things that are going to be coming for the 2025 year. There's going to be more information coming out about all this stuff.
Yeah, and anytime any of these parks, whenever they fully announce what they are getting, we'll be making a video about all of them.
Yeah, we're going to stay on top of all of it. So like we said earlier, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're not already. We can't wait for the 2025 season. I can't believe 2024 is like pretty much like almost in the books as far as summer goes.
Yeah.
It's like we got August left. I mean, this summer flew by. I can't believe how fast it went. But that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. We appreciate everyone that takes time out of their day to watch our videos. So we'll see you guys next time right here on Beach Cliff Studios. See ya.